This is the last weekly reflection of the quarter, and I am going to start with the discussion board. So, on the discussion board, I suggested for students with a lot of sensory, flexible with seating, and where they go to work on assignments. And I feel like that'd be very good for, especially for kids who have a hard time paying attention all the time, and they need need different areas to learn. The challenges that would come up, would other students who did not need sensory would say that it's unfair. They would vocalize their issues with it, which is understandable. And so what I think I could do is that I could allowing all of the students the privilege, but with the exception that if the students do not follow directions or they become distracted, they have to go back to their seats. I feel like that's fair, considering that they don't need the sensory input, or they don't, yeah. And then for students who need some sensory input, I've seen this in classes in my practicum where they have this little corner with like a teepee hut or like a little tiny tent that the little kids can go into, and they calm down in there, or they do their work in there, and it's very good for the kids with behavioral issues. A challenge for this as well, it's the same thing. Students who do not need that sensory input, vocalizing the unfairness of the situation, which again I understand. So I think that it'd be fair if I had like a cup or something of like popsicle sticks or like names or whatever, and I'd pull a name for the day, and that student could also be in there when the other student was not in there. That way the area is not crowded and it's not, and everyone's still getting a turn. Okay, the study guide. Study guide 10. Okay. Define generalization and maintenance. So I talked about the 3 different generalizations, which you also talked about in your mini lectures, which were the stimulus generalization, response generalization, and generalized across time, which is just maintenance, in other words. The reason I think that these are so important is just because we all, well, when talking about behavior specifically, growing up, we all need to have certain tools to be able to communicate with other people how we're feeling instead of reacting or going about a situation in a very inappropriate way. So having these generalizations in the interventions is very important. And my example was Lincoln. A boy named Lincoln is having struggles communicating what he was feeling to others and reacted negatively when he felt there was something happening that was unfair. The negative reactions were yelling, throwing toys, and after intervention, Lincoln was able to take a moment to himself before discussing how he was feeling towards something that happened in class. Once discussing how he was feeling towards something, once he takes this moment to himself, he can tell his peer how it made him feel and talk to his peer about it more. He was able to do this in his general education classroom and his specials throughout the day. To ensure that Lincoln keeps healthy communication skills, there will be progress monitoring on Lincoln throughout the year. I think also, which I didn't put in this, but it makes, because I couldn't really convey it in words that was simple and not like really super confusing. I would progress monitor, or at least go observe informally to like after long breaks, and especially after summer break, because we don't know if the generalization is being kept up over the summer or over the breaks, and it's kind of natural for things to kind of what's the word? Digress? Yeah. So just going in there and observing him, and then if he needs more help, then that's an easy refresher for him. And moving on, I can see myself, I mean, I haven't dealt with this in my practicum yet, or where I'm placed, but I wouldn't be surprised if I saw it. I do see generalization, but I don't see the maintenance yet because they haven't gotten out of the intervention stage. Flashcards. I didn't do very good on the flashcards this week. I had, what were the ones that I missed? That I know for sure because I just didn't say them because I get them mixed up. Let me go. I got, conditioned reinforcer and conditioned stimulus. Conditioned reinforcer, change in the stimuli, acts as a reinforcer with 2 or more past reinforcers, and conditioned stimulus, former neutral stimuli change, with or after paired with unconditioned stimuli plus former neutral stimuli change equals change in behavior, is how I described that one. Anyways, wasn't very good. Also low energy today. So that had an effect on it too, I think. But all those things are used in the classroom, I think, especially if you're more of a special ed teacher, like kind of not a special ed teacher, but you work for the district, I guess. You do more of these experimental things or like more developing the conditioned items. At least in a team, you're more likely to. I liked the little message you had at the end of lecture 3. Don't know why that's coming to my mind now, but I did like that. Quiz 4. Easy. That was nice. Now all that I have to do is the research project and presentation. And, yes, I know I'm gonna reach out to you Monday to talk to you more about it, because I think I'm understanding what it's saying exactly. And I talked to Jay about it, but still a little bit confused. Anyways, but I feel good. Good quarter, thank you. Have a good break.